Welcome in this video where I would like to continue my previous research or experiment where I tested a SharePoint site agent dealing with certain Excel files, online Excel files, and also Microsoft Copilot Studio agent with the knowledge in which these Excel files were attached. Now I'm changing a bit the strategy. I'm keeping the SharePoint site agent, but I have a better solution for the Microsoft Copilot Studio agent. With the SharePoint site agent, the main problem was that it cannot be attached to a flow that I'm building in Microsoft Copilot Studio. We cannot really automate or regulate the behavior. But if we find a solution in Microsoft Copilot Studio to get reliable, good data from online Excel files, then we have won. I'm showing you the details. Let's dive into it. So in today's video, I will have two agents that I'm testing. One is a Microsoft Copilot Studio agent. A tool is attached to that. This tool is basically an agent flow. When within this agent flow, I'm using the list rows in a table action. And the other agent is a SharePoint site agent. As in the previous test and experiment, it has access to these online Excel files stored in the SharePoint site. The example files I'm showing you now, I have now also two files. One is called the long.xlsx, which is starting with task number 1 and spreading up until task number 150. Altogether, this Excel has 152 lines. And the other one is the extra long, starting from 1 until 999. And this Excel file has altogether 1001 lines filled. The setup that I would like to show you, and also the files. You can see here the SharePoint library. In the documents folder, I have a test subfolder, and within this test subfolder, I have the two online Excel files. The long xlsx file, the middle rows are hidden here, and the extra long one, also the lines, the rows are hidden. These ones I showed you in the presentation as well. And here on the SharePoint site, I have a SharePoint site agent which looks in the following way. Exactly, you can easily create these agents if you are jumping back to the Home tab, hit on New and add a new agent. If you go back to the Documents library, we can see here the agent and the setup of this agent, the name and purpose, and the sources. The sources are exactly these two online Excel files as the knowledge in the background. Then in Microsoft Copilot Studio, what I'm doing now, first, without adding an agent flow, I'm just simply adding a tool, list rows in a table. I'm doing this because I want to show you what limitation this action has if we are not embedding it in an agent flow. We need to create separate tools for separate online Excel files, because I'm showing you now that we are adding a permanent setting in the background on which SharePoint site, which file this action should deal with. Here you can see my Copilot Studio agent. Basically, it has the generative orchestration enabled. The agent model is GPT-4o. Let me show you the settings for the generative AI orchestration in on GPT-4o. And what is important, no general knowledge and no information from the web is turned on. And the tenant graph grounding with semantic search is turned on at the very end. These are the generative AI settings of this agent. I have no instruction, so the instruction box is empty, no knowledge attached. Now, in this case, we are doing the following. In the first round, we are adding a tool, list rows present in a table, and this one is set up for the extra long online Excel file. I'm showing you the settings of this action. The inputs, location, document library, file, and table is preset, and this is exactly the file that can be found in this SharePoint library, this extra long online Excel file, and the table 1 within this file. That's why I'm telling you that with this method, you need to create a separate action belonging to the separate files. Let me go back now to the Overview tab, and let's do a quick test in which I'm asking, can you please tell me the largest task ID number in extralong.xlsx? I'm turning on the activity mapping to see what the agent is doing, using the action it was dedicated to, and the answer is the largest task ID number in extralong.xlsx file is 256. Basically, this file is longer. The largest task number is 999, so there's a limitation, and the solution for this limitation is to turn on the pagination and increase the threshold. You cannot do it in a way if you are adding this action as a tool separately. You need to embed it in a Power Automate flow, which is an agent flow now, and there we will be able to do these settings. So the result is this approach is limited to approximately 256 lines. So what we do instead of this is we are turning on the GPT-5 model. Is still in experimental phase at the moment when I'm recording this video, and we are adding an agent flow, in this case separately for each files, where we are adding this action list rows in a table within this agent flow, and in the setup of this action, we are turning on the pagination, and the threshold will be increased to 10,000. Let me show you this approach. In the overview, we have these two agent flows attached. I'm just turning off the other actions and turning on the agent flows. And what is in this agent flow, I'm showing you now. Let me show you the one belonging to the extra long file. In the designer, simply we have 0 input, then we have the list rows present in a table action, in which I'm having the presetting for this same file and the same table. What is important is that the datetime format is set to ISO 8601. And if we are jumping into the settings of this action, we are having pagination turned on and threshold is set to 10,000. Done. Basically, this is the setup that we are using for both agent flows. And with this, we have now the two agents ready to be tested. And I'm doing almost exactly the same tests that I did in my previous video. We have the Copilot Studio agent and the SharePoint site agent. And the first task to do is to recognize the length of the online Excel files. For this, I'm using the same prompt for both agents, and let's start with the Copilot Studio agent. I'm just refreshing the chat, and what I still need to manage is change the model to GPT-5, reasoning, save. I'm just quickly checking the connection settings. These should be okay at the moment. Perfect. And I'm quickly publishing this agent once again in order to have the latest setups published. Perfect. So once again, the first task, recognizing the length of the online Excel files. For this, I'm using the same prompt for both agents, and it sounds like this. Can you please tell me the largest task ID number in extralong.xlsx? Please also tell me the start and end date belonging to that task. I'm turning on the activity mapping. Let's see what the agent does in the background. It's starting the agent flow belonging to that Excel file. Perfect. Receive the datas. In the datas we see that the last task is with ID 999 and 999, and here we have the start and the end dates as well. So basically all the data are prepared for the agent to give me the answer. And here is it: largest task ID 999, start date and end date 25th of September and 26th of October, 25th of September, 26th of October 2025. The answer is correct. I'm doing the logging of the answers here as well, and let's stay by this agent. The next task is to capture the data of the whole online Excel file. For this, I will also use the same prompt by both agents. Let me reset the chat field now, and I'm adding the following prompt. Can you please tell me the number of days between the start date of the first task and the end date of the last task in extralong.xlsx? Activity mapping is turned on. Data is received. We have the last task as well. And we have the days calculated, 1029 days. This is from the first task start date, 2023, 1st of January, exactly. And the last task date is 26th of October 2025, same as the last time. Exactly. The difference between them is almost 3 years. 3 times 365 is around 1000, and basically the answer is the same, but we can compare this result to the result of the other agent, and let's see. But we received an answer. It looks quite good. We will check this, so this point is done. The last task is processing operations across Excel files. For this, what I'm doing now is resetting the chat window and adding the prompt. Can you please add the tasks that are present based on their ID numbers in long.xlsx and extralong.xlsx as well, and sum up their durations from the two tables line by line. Please only give as response the piece count of tasks and the total summed up duration of all common tasks. Let's send this prompt. And here in extra long we have the task until 999, and in long we have only until 150. Basically we need to get 150 tasks that are common, and each duration is approx 31 days. So we can check also the validity of the result. Both agent flows has been used, and now the agent is calculating. We received the results now. 150 is the piece count of tasks, it's correct, and the duration is 9299. We can quickly check it, approximately this number. We need to multiply 150 by 31 by 2 because they are present in both tables, and 31 days is the approx duration of each task. Is 9300, 9299. It's depending on the length of the month as well, but the answer looks good. So the result of this task is also okay in this case. Let's move now to the SharePoint site agent. What I'm doing is I'm adding the exact same prompts to the different tasks. The first one is recognizing the length of the online Excel file. Here I have my previous prompt. I'm moving to the SharePoint site, adding the prompt. Can you please tell me the largest task ID number in extralong.xlsx? Please also tell me the start and end date belonging to that task. 999 is correct. 25th of September and 26th of October 2025 is also correct. So the first task is okay by this agent as well. The second one, capturing the data of the whole online Excel file. I have the same prompt here as well. What I'm doing here, also adding a new chat and asking, can you please tell me the number of days between the start date of the first task and the end date of the last task in x1.xl6. The number of days between the start date of the first task and the end date of the last task in the file x1.xl6 is 999 days. Basically, this answer is not the same as one we received, which was 1029, and I need to check now the validity of this result. What I can do now is I'm jumping to the Microsoft Copilot chat, turning on GPT-5 and asking the number of days between these two dates. Please tell me the number of days between the 1st of January 23 and 26th of October 25. The result is 1029 days, exactly the one that was responded by the Copilot Studio agent. So in this case, the SharePoint site agent was not correct. The last task, processing operations across files. Now I have exactly the same prompt for this case as well. What I'm doing here, adding a new chat as by the other agent and asking, can you please add the tasks that are present based on their ID numbers in long.xl6 and xlong.xl6 as well, and sum up their durations from the two tables line by line. Piece count of the common tasks, same ID in both files, 92, it's not correct, 150 we have, and the total summed up duration of all common tasks, 920, it should be around 9300, so it's also not okay. So in this comparison, Microsoft Copilot Studio agent was much better, and the biggest advantage is that it's within the Copilot Studio, so we can put it within an automation. Exactly, this is one of the pros of that, automation possibilities. Now I had separate agent flows belonging to separate online Excel files. It should be tested whether the solution, if we are adding the list rows in a table actions within one agent flow and attaching only this one agent flow to the agent as a tool, is better or not. I think with the increase of the file sizes, there will be so many data coming into the agent that the agent cannot handle it after that. And also the behavior can be much more configured if you are dealing with the Microsoft Copilot Studio agent. Good results I only received with the GPT-5 model. It's still in experimental phase, the time the video is recorded. The chat can get overloaded by a huge amount of data. I started the conversation, the test chat, after each question again in order not to get this, and the settings needs to be done separately for each files I'm curious about. But all in all, what I can say is, until now for me, the best solution to get data out of online Excel files, Microsoft Copilot Studio, and in some of my already existing flows, I will change the method in which I'm added the online Excel file as a knowledge to this new one, that in an agent flow and with the list rows in a table action, I can get much more data and I can get exact results, which is crucial if you are handling business flows in real life. Thanks for watching. If you have any more business ideas that would worth to create a video about, please leave a comment below.